Hello, this is Broyar, and welcome back to another episode of our Let's Play for Farming Simulator 22 as we continue our Feed My Kids run here on Zielonka. Just finishing up the straw pickup here. Almost done with that. I also did some math on where we want to put the beehives. So, the two fields we have up here at the top, the field 51, the one to my left here, is the wider of the two. So if we go based off the width is 52 yards across. The beehive can be 150 yards from the biggest beehive. We can be 150 yards from the biggest beehive and still get coverage. Now, technically, those beehives down there are, because we're not quite at 150 yards, covering a tiny bit of field 51, but that's not going to be good enough. We want to move those beehives or basically sell them and rebuy them. Again, I wish you could move them, but it is what it is. So what we're going to do is we're going to come over here. Let's go ahead and get rid of these real quick because we just definitely do not need these at all. Again, wish you could move them, but it is what it is. So again, the big beehives is 150 yards from them. So what we want is, let's make sure we're in the good spot. 52 squared is 2,704. And then 150 yards is 22,500. You subtract the 22,704 from 22,500. Take the square root of that. You know, a squared plus b squared equals c squared, that whole thing. And the end result is that we get is 140 yards. So we want to be 140 yards from the edge of these fields in order to kind of basically get full coverage. In fact, I'm probably going to go 140 yards from the edge of the angle here because we can see the thing's angled out a little bit. So we'll go 140 yards from that. Actually, I might even just do it from this field because all we need to know is the length. And then once we know the length, we can figure it out from there. In fact, we'll probably go a little bit less. Probably go about 130, 135, something like that. So we're sitting at, if you look at the bottom left-hand corner, we're sitting at 751 or 750. We'll call it 750 right here. So that puts us at 76. Oh no, we're going to go up. So we want to be at 880. So 880 would be pretty far along here. We're not quite halfway, right? Are we? We're close. But in order to get perfect coverage, what we're going to do is we're going to put it 880 and just basically on this road here, right in the middle. And so let's grab, in fact, I think we go a little bit less. Let's go 870 because we know that we're going to be close to overlapping anyway. Let's just make sure we have perfect coverage here. We're going to go with animals. We're going to go bees. And we're going to grab the big beehive. And it doesn't really matter how we face this. We'll just face it this way. And we're at 870, so something like this on this road should get us the coverage we need. I thought these used to show a circle for the coverage, but that does not seem to be the case anymore. Or maybe they never did. And so then we want to go 130 meters from this direction, or approximately. And so we're sitting at, where are we at? 1020 basically right now. So 130 that direction would be 9,890. Oh yeah, we're gonna be really close to each other then. So we're gonna scooch it over to the right a little bit. Go to like 900. And I think, yeah, these two are gonna definitely have a lot of overlap, but that's okay. We're gonna have two beehives here, and those should cover 150 yards to the corner of this, pretty close to it. Same thing with over here, and same thing with over here, and same thing with over there. So that should give us the coverage that we need for those two. I guess at some point we can figure out these as well. In fact, I guess I can go and do the math on these right now. So we're at, let me just get rid of this. Let's go based off the cursor. We're at, look at the bottom left, 904 to 966. And this is the wider of the two, right? Because that one's 62 wide. Yeah, that's the wider of the two. There's no, I know that. Okay, so 62. We'll do that again. 62 squared. It's 3,844. We'll take our original 22,500 minus 3,844. We'll take the square root of that. That's 18,656. And that puts us at 136. A little bit shorter, but that's expected because it's a wider field, right? So let's go back to the construction. We're going to go to animals. Do we have enough for another? Yeah, we do have enough for another beehive. We might even only need one for this section. So if we go from essentially here, and we're at basically 930, we'll call it 930 just to make math easy. And we want to go basically 135, right? So we're going to go down to 1065. Oh yeah, we're definitely going to just stick this right in the middle. So what is the middle considered here? 1025, or sorry, looking at the wrong number. 1036 all the way up to 929. Is that right? No, 1136. I was going to say that my math was not making sense to me. So 207. So we can just go about 104 yards down, basically, right? So again, we said 930, so 104 would be 1035, something like that, just to make it a nice number. Somewhere around here. And this actually should cover this one beehive. Theoretically, if I did all the math right, should cover both of these fields completely. And I could have moved it maybe a little bit further up this way just to whatever, but I think it's fine. Should get full coverage against all of those fields, because again, 150 yards, if I did all my math right, then we should be good. A lot of things depending on correct math. Is there a good way to tell that you've got coverage? I don't know. I thought the field info would tell us. Maybe it'll tell us once it actually starts growing. I'm not seeing any increase. I don't know. I feel like there's got to be a way to see the increase somewhere. I don't know. Doesn't matter. All right, we'll go with that. And you don't need you anymore right this second. Do we need more TMR? I think we did, actually. We do. One of these days I'll move that pallet out of the way. Probably after I've tripped over it a couple times. Oh, I just realized those messed up the angle of the field slightly there. What about there? It probably did here too. We'll see. It might be alright. Or the slope of the field is what I meant to say. I think if we try to smooth out the field itself, I think it gets rid of the crop that's on there, so I don't really want to do that if we can help it. I can't remember if it does that or not for just smoothing. I'll be selling some grape orchards here momentarily. Kind of want to wait until it's officially year 13 for that, I guess. You know what? It did cut into that field a little bit, didn't it? I mean, it's fine. No, it's still a straight line. It just looks funny from the side. I think it'll be alright. If not, it's just a couple yards. I'm not really that worried about it. I really wish there was a way to see the coverage area. I don't know. I mean, I feel like even clicking this should show you the coverage area, right? Maybe there's a subtle coverage area display somewhere I'm just missing. So we're done with that for now. Let's just wait for the cedar to finish, and then we're good to fast forward. Yes, maybe, maybe not. Cows are okay on milk for the moment. I'd like to get to, yeah, I was gonna say we'd like to get to September for milk if we can, although, yeah, it's not really a great price right now. So we'll definitely want to wait till September for that. Excuse me, if we can help it. Oh, I'm about to be out of fertilizer. You know what? Before you even start, let's go grab some. Alright, let me get the rest of this seeding done, and I will be right back. Alright, just finishing up the seeding here. Nice. I'm pretty happy to have a new crop. I think it's going to be fun. Moving along, moving the save along here. And the milk and cereal portion was definitely our longest portion. But there's a good things from that though, because cows are very expensive to get set up. And so being able to do the milk and cereal for as long as we did, as well as going into chocolate, which is going to continue the cows, that's really going to get us the most value for those cows, right? We're going to be able to make sure that we know that we had some solid profit off of them. All right, I think we're ready to fast forward. Planted the canola. Again, we got to harvest the corn here in 2 months. And we won't be planting sugar beets and potatoes until March. So I think the next thing for us to do is to sell the milk in September. That's so weird not having the beehives here. Yeah, so let's go ahead and I think there's anything else we wanted to do here. No, before I do anything, let me grab you, just because it's going to bug me. We're going to go pick up that little tiny pallet of honey and just bring it back over here. Just to make sure it's just done. No honey left behind. $28. Oh, I think this is the honey I was going to bring in the house for toast and stuff. That's silly of me. Oh well. Okay, so a little bit of a wasted trip for such a small amount, but visually it was bothering me. Now we can fast forward. Did we check the used lot? We might have, but I don't really remember it. I mean, this thing's interesting, but just we don't need it. Can't afford it right now anyway, without a loan. All right, we will need to herbicide the canola. Yeah, those beehives could get in the way of some of our herbiciding and stuff like that, but it's going to be fine. We'll just work around that. I still think the value of them, they're easy enough to place, and the value is going to be fine. I say that. How much extra yield do we need to make up for whatever it was, 19,000 times 3? Don't know. But we still get honey too if we want to put that down somewhere. Right, let's get out here. Can we see... We don't see the bees information on the field info. I would have thought we would have been able to see something. Oh well. Should still be... I mean, we believe the value's there, right? We just don't, even if we don't see it. So, should be fine. Alright, what else we got going on here? Hello. Another harvester. I mean, we don't really need this because we're going to have the 2 canola fields, yes. And it would speed that up a little bit, but we really just, what we need is a harvester for the potatoes and sugar beets. And that's going to be an expensive harvester. So no, that's not going to be what we need right now. Well, okay, let me rephrase that. This is, how does this compare to the harvester that we've got right now? Because I just remembered we do not own our current harvester. It's a 374 horsepower harvester. This is only, yeah, it's just so much better. We're just gonna stick with what we got. What? Why did you just turn around there? Did not even try to finish down there. I mean, I'm gonna just do this a little bit here, but it's a little strange that, because I can still see. Yeah, he didn't even go near where he needed to go. That's strange. All right, let me get the herbiciding done, and I will be right back. All right, just finishing up the herbiciding now. And then we will, we do still need to go sell the milk as well. And I think the highest price right now is the farmer's market. Should be easy enough to get to. Cool. All right, get you dropped off. How much more milk do we have left in there? Good enough for another full load, or mostly full load. We got more honey than we need, but we're just gonna have to live with it because we don't really have a way to move the thingy. Sorry, I got distracted. I was trying to figure out what was on the side of this building over here. Oh, it's a satellite dish. I was like, that is a weird looking basketball hoop. It didn't look like a satellite dish because it looked like it's pointed horizontally, which pretty sure does not work. Usually, I mean, occasionally you'll come across a low a satellite that's low on the horizon, basically, right? But usually for satellite dishes that are like, Dish Network or DirecTV, I don't think those are very commonly low on the horizon. The reason I know about the low on the horizon ones is because my dad used to have one of the ginormous satellite dishes. It was like a 8 or 10 foot satellite dish. And he could then, it was movable, right? It would rotate and move based on which satellite he wanted to tune into. So he would just be able to actually change and tune into different satellites at different times, stuff like that. So sometimes he would find some that are low on the horizon, things like that. But most of them are going to be up in the sky, especially for DirecTV and Dish Network. You're not usually going to see those. Those aren't going to change their angle, right? Like they're just going to stay static and be able to pick up from, high orbit satellite usually, I think. Or I guess, well, it's high enough that it's going to be able to get it pretty much no matter where it is. Whereas I guess the one my dad had was like pretty high tech, right? Because it was obviously one that, man, he used to have to bury that pole for that thing all the time. I remember every time we moved, our whole family had to get involved just to be able to move that satellite dish around and stuff like that. It was a giant, it was metal too. It wasn't even fiberglass. It was like made out of just metal. And that thing was crazy heavy. And having to pick that thing up and trying to set it up on top of the pole for it was about, 8 inches around. We had to dig that thing deep into the ground, cement it usually and stuff like that. And having to get our whole family just to pick that thing up and set it on top of that. It was always an ordeal every time we moved. I don't even know if you can. I'm assuming you can still do those types of satellite, TV setups if you really, really wanted to, but I doubt very many people have those types of things. I mean, it's just too easy to set up a DirecTV or Dish Network satellite dish. Or just do what I do. just watch Netflix. I don't even have a cable TV type of subscription. If I did, I would do YouTube TV because I mean it's cheap enough and good enough for what I need. And sometimes we do turn on YouTube TV if there's like something specific we want to watch. But most of the time we're just watching Netflix. So right now I think all we have is Netflix and Disney Plus. And that is the extent of our streaming services. Well, Amazon Prime, but that's just because we have it because we already have Amazon delivery stuff. All right. Well, that is the milk. That is the herbiciding. So next month, I guess we can go ahead and fast forward and at least kind of get that started, is going to be corn harvesting time, which is great because that'll help us know exactly how much oats to drop off, or vice versa, corn if we decide to save some of the corn. Cows are okay. Nothing on the used lot. Yep, let's go. Do you need to mow the grass as well? I guess after we finish the corn, we can sell the corn header back if we wanted to. We should not need it again for the rest of this save. All right, get you rolling. Let's grab you. Go get the mowing going. All right, those are good. We'll have to pick up silage. We'll have to obviously plow, drop digest it whenever we want to. We don't do it urgently, stuff like that. So we got a few things to do this month, but we'll make it work. Of course, now we get a nice class header that would have been good to use actually, but that's all right. There's a container if we ever need it, but we don't need that. So yeah, I'm excited. We're cruising along here. It's possible I cut things off a year early. Did I? I think we're still good. I think we're about to roll into year 13. I think we're still okay. That I did it. Maybe I did it a year early. If I did, oh well. But it was close enough. So all right, we're gonna put a cut in there. When we come back, we'll continue on with some of this stuff. So I do appreciate you guys watching. May God bless you, and I hope you join me again next time. Thank you and goodbye. I wanted to give a special shout out to the following channel members. Thank you so much for supporting the channel.